Welcome back to the other half of The Princess and the Frog. This video, we're going to basically instantiate our princess class into an object and then begin to use it. So welcome to the program that we call Frogs. Okay, in this program, we're going to begin to use the princess class. So we're going to write a program that runs as a program now, not just a class definition. So we're back with our template, and we're going to say this is the Frogs program that uses the princess class. All right, so we've got our typical preprocessor directives, and we've got main, and so we're back to writing a program now, as opposed to the princess class, which is just a class definition in its own file. Now, because we're going to use information from another file, we need to import it. So we're going to do that by saying from princess. Now notice I do not need the .py because I'm in Python. It's going to assume it's a Python file. So from princess, and notice it's small p because I'm dealing with the file. From this file, I'm going to say import. And now I want the capital P princess class. Okay, so now it's going to look out there. Yep, it found it. It knows that I'm using this princess class. Okay, so we're going to begin by creating a class, and we'll just pretend that this is like in the military where it's a watch bill or a schedule, and you get scheduled to be the princess of the day. Okay, and you dress up in a particular costume and go out in Disney World or whatever. So we're going to say princess of the day. Now that's a really long variable name, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually better if your variable names have meaning to them. Okay, they don't have to be that long, but they should have meaning to them. Okay, and we're going to say is assigned the value princess, and here's where we call the constructor Cinderella. I think I spelled that right. And we're going to say that she has kissed 5 frogs to date. Okay? Now, it's important we pause here for just a second to understand that this is the class. And notice it's highlighted that. Okay? This is calling the constructor init by giving it the name and the number of frogs. Okay? This right here is the object. The object is of the data type princess. This is the class. This is the object. I can operate on this because if we go back to my int x equals 4 discussion, we have evaluated this by constructing it, and we are putting it in memory at a position on the heap because this is an object. Primitives go on the stack, objects go on the heap. So this is stored on the heap as an object, and it's pointed to by princess of the day. This particular object has a unique memory address, which is referred to by all of these selfs when it's created. Okay? Let's move this over here. And let's go back to frogs. And now I'm going to operate on princess of the day by calling the method that will be very, very useful to me. Okay, and that is the dump everything to the screen method. So I'm going to call princess of the day dot, and notice all of the methods that I created are now in the IntelliSense for me to use. And I want to call print princess. And obviously selecting it like that didn't get it. So I'm going to go down here and say print princess, and then we've discovered tab is how I do it. Okay, so now let's let this settle, save it, and I'm going to go over here to Python and say Python frogs. I'm running frogs, not princess. Okay. Princess report. Princess Cinderella has kissed 5 frogs. So there you have it. Frogs is a program that runs, and it created a variable, an object of type princess, and it works just fine. Now, let's set the number of frogs kissed. Let's update that to 12. Okay, so we're going to say princess of the day dot set nums frog kissed, and we'll put 12 in there. Okay, and then let's say we've updated the name. Okay, there was a relief on duty for the princess of the day, so we're going to say princess of the day dot set princess name, and we'll change it to Ariel. Okay, and then we're just going to call print princess again. Control C. Now let's just put a blank print in here. Give us a little spacing. And let's see if it updates this object with these setters. And it's really easy to call the print princess to tell me what's showing in there. So I've saved it. Let's try it again. Let's do a clear. Oops, clear. And there you see Cinderella's kissed 5. We update it, and now Ariel has kissed 12. Okay? Now, let's do one more thing in frogs. And I'm going to write a comment here, and I'm going to say, actually, let's do this in a print so we see it on the other end. I'm going to say print checking getters in the shifting world of princesses. Okay. Just to show you that we can pull the getters, and I don't know why I wanted to capitalize print there. Print. Here we go. We're going to say the new princess of the day is who has kissed. This looks very much like our print routine, but the reason I'm doing it this way is I want to show you that we can call the different getters as well. So we're going to call format, and we're going to say princess of the day dot, and we're going to call get princess name. So we're going to go down 1, and then we need a comma. And this gets pretty long. Of the day, whoops, day dot get nums frogs kissed, and I'm going to keep scrolling over here, and that should be done there. Okay, and once we've got that, I think we're good. So we're just going to stop there. I'm going to get rid of some of these, and let's save this. And what I've done here is in the format of this, I'm going to call the objects method get princess name, get nums frogs kissed. And really it's just showing you that I can in fact access via the getters, because we're using the setters here, so I want to be complete and show you the getters there as well. So if we go in here and say clear, and then let's run it, and you should see, again, we see it here, but the princess of the day is Ariel, who has kissed 12 frogs. Okay? So one more pass, I want to make the point. This is the class. This is how we call the constructor, right here, all of this. And this is the object. You will see that if you're in my class on our assessments. You need to really understand very clearly that the variable is the object. The class name is nothing more than the recipe for the object. It's a custom data type. Welcome to Object Python. You have now seen how you can build your own custom data types. They can have as many fields and as many methods as possible, as you would like to properly model whatever it is that you're modeling. You'll also notice that in object-oriented coding, many times the fields of a class will be an instantiation of a different class. So objects and the class definitions thereof give us the Legos that we can build bigger and bigger and bigger objects. And there's no limit to what you can do. And as you get into object-oriented coding more and more, you will begin to realize that when the methods of a class allow it to do certain things automatically, when you build descendant classes of those classes, you have objects that become very, very powerful. And we're going to talk about a lot of that in the Advanced Computer Science class, which is parallel to AP Computer Science A. And in that video series, we're really going to parse what it means to have extensibility, modularity, encapsulation. We're going to go a lot deeper in object-oriented coding, mostly because the language allows us to. But in Python, you still have the ability to create these objects and build very wonderful tools that you can use that you invent. So it's very, very powerful, and it's really kind of cool. So in the next video, it's going to be the last primary video in this series. We're going to briefly introduce you to Python interactive mode. And Python interactive mode is very simple. It's how we interact with Python literally at the Python prompt, which is line by line by line. We'll show you that on the other side.